Do you feel like your lessons sometimes start a bit flatly? Do your students arrive back from break or lunch a little bit out of focus and you struggle to engage them straight away? If the answer is yes to either of those questions, then this is the episode for you, because today I'm going to talk to you briefly about how you can engage your children right at the beginning of every lesson. Hello, I'm Ben from Waggle Teaching and welcome to my latest episode where I'm going to be talking to you about warm-ups, mental warm-ups at the beginning of lessons. They're really useful to engage students, they're really useful to get their brains refocused on the learning that you've planned for that lesson. But it's really important you start lesson with a bang as well, so they're really engaged and hooked in what you've got in store for them over the 30, 40, 50, 60 minutes of your lesson. So I'm going to give you 5 activities that you can use in the classroom to hook and engage your children right from the beginning of your lesson. Okay, activity number 1 is popcorn. So this is for some of our younger students in primary school. Get the children to crouch behind their chair as though they're pieces of corn. And then you give them a rule. So this is great in mathematics. So if the children are listening, say, for a multiple of 4, you say random numbers. So you might say 6, you might say 7, then it's like 8. When the children hear a multiple of 4, they pop up and shout pop at the top of their voices. It's active, it's engaging, and it's fun. You can use this in lots of different subjects though. So for example, you can use this with key vocabulary linked to the rainforest. You can use it to linked in key vocabulary in history. Anything they've learnt a little bit about before, or even if they haven't, you can start developing an understanding of which children have misconceptions, for example. Anything you've previously taught a little bit that children have a little bit of context to, you can use as the theme of your popcorn. So you would say random words or numbers out, and if that word or number matches your rules, so if it's a multiple of 3 or multiple 6, they pop up because they recognise that that matches your criteria and they shout pop. The children then crouch back down and the game continues. It's short, it's sweet, and it's really, really simple to do. Okay, the next warm-up activity is Splat. So give all the children a little piece of paper with either key vocabulary on, pictures, numbers, whatever it might be. Basically, the answers to questions that you're going to ask. So the children are given a card each, they get their Splat fingers out, and as you say various questions, the children have to find the answer. When they find the answer, they say Splat. You as a teacher can move around the classroom to see when they've splatted and they've got their finger on the answer, have they got it right or have they got it wrong? It's quick fire questions but allows the children to engage with whatever the theme of your lesson is about right at the beginning of the lesson. Again, it's active and it's fun. Okay, activity number 3 is agree or disagree. Basically, you'll have an agree side of the classroom and a disagree side of the classroom. You can even have I'm not sure in the middle. This is all about developing an understanding of misconceptions for the students. So at the beginning of a lesson, before you deliver whatever you're teaching about, you can say some things, statements, so the children have to decide whether they're true or false. So for example, you might say all multiple 3s are even numbers. The child has to think, they have to either go to the agree side or the disagree side. They all move to the side, and then you can develop a bit of a discussion between the students of why they've chosen agree, disagree, or in fact stood in the middle of the classroom because they're not sure. It links to growth mindset, allows children to acknowledge if they're not sure about something or they don't know, but also with the agree and disagree develops discussion. And if a child gets it wrong, you know full well that they're a target for you in the classroom during that lesson because they have a misconception about something that's happening. It helps with differentiation straight away, but more importantly, it gets the children up, it gets the children thinking and discussing the theme of your lesson straight away. Okay, top tip number 4 is Connect 4, funnily enough. So we've all played the game Connect 4 where you have a grid, and the aim of the game is to get 3 or 4 counters, 4 is Connect 4, 4 counters in a row, either horizontally, vertically or diagonally. When you print off the grid, put various questions in the grid or numbers, it could be key vocabulary, whatever it might be. My suggestion would be questions. When the children come in, get them to sit down in pairs. They each take turn to answer one of the questions. If they answer the question right, they put one of their coloured counters on. Then it's the other person's turn. They try and answer a question and they put a coloured counter on. The pairs work against each other to try and answer the questions and gain a connect 4. So if they get a diagonal number of questions correct, 4 in a row, then they win the game. It gets the children playing a game, thinking strategically at the same time as getting them to answer questions about the topic that you're about to teach them in the classroom. It's a really great idea. You keep the questions quite simple, the game can be quite quick. Alternatively, you can use this as a main activity in the middle of the lesson. Draw it out, have some more complicated questions within the grid, and then the children are working practically but at the same time focused on what they're learning about. And finally, the final thing to come in, this is a bit less up and active, it's more about thinking and engaging with something straight away. But whatever the theme of your lesson, have it on the board, whether it be a picture, whether it be a question, one thing that's going to engage them. And get the children to answer the 3 questions basically. I know, I think, I wonder. The first one is, what do they already know about the topic or theme of the lesson? The think is what they think might be true but they're not sure about. So it's kind of, yes, this is what I know, and then the think is, well, this is what I think I know about the topic. And then the wonder is questions, so questions that they would like answering throughout the lesson. It helps you with guiding the pathway of the lesson, so if children have lots of questions about a particular area, you can focus on that a little bit more. You can identify the children that don't know anything, you can identify the children that know everything already. It helps with your differentiation at the start of the lesson, but also gets the children engaged in the topic and starting to think about the things that they've already learnt about that might help them within your lesson. And that's it. They are my 5 top tips of how to engage your students really quickly at the beginning of a lesson. It's all about re-engaging the brain, re-engaging the student in a fun, practical, simple way that doesn't require too many resources, but allows you to start your lesson with a bit of a bang. If you have some of your own ideas, please comment in the YouTube box below or on our social media pages. I'm Ben from Wag On Teaching. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel or indeed our podcast, whichever way you're listening to this episode. Once again, thank you for watching the video and have a really great day.